You are now listening to WSN, the Wolf Sports Network.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes.
I'm going to disagree with you right there because the Dallas Cowboys are actually going to have less wins this year than the team that I'm about to talk about. And the team that I'm about to talk about are the Atlanta Falcons.
The hottest debates.
He's the all-time leading scorer, a four-time MVP. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever, not MJ.
Yeah, greatest losing in the finals, maybe.
And some of the top interviews in sports radio.
Super Bowl champion, Brad Johnson.
This is Joe Urso, five-time national champion head baseball coach for the University of Tampa.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is President Brendan Kelly. You're listening to Sports Pack.
You know what time it is. Wolves country, let's ride.
It is a very special, beautiful, and dare I say emotional day on the University of West Georgia's campus today. It's Monday night. You're listening to Sports Pack. This is Brendan Willoughby Ray, sports director, joined by Gianna Wilcox, Richard Reed, and Gavin Ellis. Now, it's been an incredible day so far in sports. You know we got to get into a boatload of NFL news. The Atlanta Falcons have a new quarterback. My Pittsburgh Steelers have a new quarterback. One of the best running backs in the NFL goes to his team's biggest rival. But man, last night was a movie. We screamed, we yelled, and by the end of it, I was hungry. And the first thought I had was Dine West, because I remembered I can always reload and continue grabbing my favorites from Starbucks or Chick-fil-A. And if I'm ever hungry, I can call the Wolves card office at 678-839-6525 or stop by their office in the UCC for more information on Dine West.
West Georgia dials up a 29-yard score on 4th and 6.
D1, baby. Go Wolves.
Now it's time to get into why it's a beautiful, emotional, incredible, pristine, humongous night at the University of West Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your West Georgia Wolves are GSC tournament champions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah!
We were all there. The radio station in its entirety was there. The student section was going incredible. Our illustrious president, Brendan Kelly, was there. It was amazing. We got it done, 75-69, knocking off one of our biggest rivals, the University of Alabama, Huntsville. It was an incredible game, led by 3 at halftime. They made a little bit of a run in the second half, but guess what? We started to pull away. We didn't look back. They made it a little close toward the end, but Zodie Jackson took home tournament MVP honors. Cam Donelon made all team for the tournament. It was incredible. He had an awesome performance in all 3 games. Richard, got to throw it to you first. We were all at the game. It was one of the greatest student experiences we've ever experienced firsthand. What are your thoughts on the Wolves championship win?
Man, it was awesome. First of all, I'm just so glad we all decided to make the trip down out there to Birmingham at Samford University to see the Wolves take on the Alabama Huntsville University. I mean, it was great. It was a great game, and our West Georgia Wolves showed up and showed out. Zaldi had a monster game. Guys like Colton Griffin stepped up. Marlon Smith was lights out from the three-point line. I mean, it was a great game. Alabama Huntsville can flat out score. They can shoot the three. I give them my props. We saw them warming in warm-ups, and they were not missing. And they came out of the gate not missing either. But our guys kept battling, kept fighting, kept scratching and clawing at it, and we ended up winning the game 75-69. I mean, it was a flat-out dogfight, and it was a great student experience. We packed out the student section like Brendan talked about. It was great, and we took it home. Everybody got to take pictures with the trophy. It was great. People's friends and family were out there sitting down next to President Kelly. We are indeed the GSC champions in our last year in Division II. We did it. We won the conference in our last year in Division II,
Yes, sir.
but it's not over. Because up next, starting this Saturday, we have the NCAA tournament where we face one of our GSC rivals, Lee University. It's going to be crazy down there in Fort Lauderdale.
It's definitely going to be a crazy atmosphere. Now, one guy that I want to give mega props to, and I mean, might have been the difference maker throughout the entire championship game. That's Colton Griffin.
Baller.
Richard was talking about it during the game. He said if we can just find a way to get Colton to be more aggressive on offense,
then all of a sudden the tide's going to shift. The momentum's going to shift, and we're going to win this game. And sure enough, Richard, what did he do? He took
aggressive.
over. He was taking three-point shots. He was still that anchor on defense that we've known him to be all season long, and he gave us that momentum shift. He gave us that energy along with, all of us that were there. Give a little shout-out to us, too.
Yeah, I think we made like a 10-point difference.
Yeah, probably maybe 15. No, maybe stretching it. But
maybe 40. I don't know. Man.
Colton Griffin came to play last night, and that was a difference maker in its entirety. So shout out to these Wolves. Great regular season, great GSC championship run. They're the champions of the conference, leaving Division II, but Richard's right. Now it's time to go to the NCAA tournament, go down to Fort Lauderdale, take down Lee University, and end up probably playing Nova in the championship down the line. And take Nova down, win a national championship. We're going to do it. We're going to leave Division II as champions, prove to the entire world that we deserve to be in Division I, that we're going to compete next year too. I'm here for it.
I mean, yeah, the guys pretty much said it all. It was a great game, great atmosphere. I mean, it was just so exciting. It was like once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience. The road trip over there was fun. The game was fun. It was just great to see all of us Georgia fans that were so committed to go to Birmingham and support our guys. You could tell it really meant a lot to them. Even Coach Dave Moore was like, we appreciate y'all coming out. His wife said it too. They were really appreciative of being there. It was just amazing. And you're right, both of y'all, Gavin, Richard. Colton Griffin was amazing in that game. He had 11 points, 7 rebounds. He was a true difference maker because he was there. He was in it. He was making a difference. So it was great to have him at his level. And also, you guys are right. We're not done. But I'm glad we were leaving the GSC as champions like we deserve to.
Look, like Richard said, Gavin said, the job's not finished. I mean, we still have an NCAA tournament to play. I think with the talent on this team, we have a darn good chance. Now, yes, Nova is in the South region along with us. We're the 2 seed, we're 1 seed, so we will probably face off against them in the Sweet 16. But like Gavin said, on the road to the championship, we're going to have to take them down either way. Whether it's in the championship game, whether it's in the Elite 8, Sweet 16, whatever. We're going to have to go through them at some point.
Yep.
We can do it. But I really want to, just spend a few minutes talking about how big of an accomplishment yesterday was, genuinely, because we talked to a lot of these players before this season started. Remember last year they lost to West Alabama in the GSC championship by 2 points. It was a heartbreaker, right? They missed the buzzer beater, lost the game, came so close to winning that championship. And a lot of people thought after last year they were going to fall off a little bit. Because remember, Michael Zapatakis went pro. They lost some other big-time seniors. Tommaso left. Jalen Sasser left. There were a lot of big-time seniors on that team that left. They graduated. They moved on. This team had one goal going into this year. That's not only to win the regular season title, but that's to win the GSC tournament title. Going into this tournament, there was so much pressure on them. There was a target on their back. And we saw that against West Alabama in the semis Saturday night. We were losing in the second half by 1 point. We had a big lead. They stormed back, took a 47-46 advantage, and it looked like our season might be done. But Zoddy stepped up. Cam stepped up. They made the difference. They took over the game. We ended up winning. Yesterday was the greatest student experience I've had as a student here at the University of West Georgia, genuinely. I've been to so many football games, so many basketball games, a few baseball games, whatever. Yesterday was truly magical, and it's a part of what makes this university so special. It's a part of what makes the student body so special. I mean, from the top down, from Dr. Brendan Kelly to the incredible administration, to the basketball coaches, to the team, to the students. I mean, it feels like one family, one effort, and one goal we all wanted to achieve so badly. And seeing them cut down the nets, celebrate. We were so loud. The UAH radio guys were calling us classless. They were calling West Georgia. They were showing their backsides, things of that nature. Yeah. And I just wanted to kind of shout that out because at the end of the day, if we're passionate enough that we can upset, professionals and have them thinking, oh, man, these kids getting excited, that's a bad thing. I think you bring the energy. I think that's great. I think, look, you show up, you show that passion. Those kids, their blood, sweat, and tears to get to that point, they deserve every scream. They deserve us chanting defense, defense, defense every single possession. We weren't vulgar. We didn't storm the court. Didn't do anything obscene.
We were just there to support.
We were just there to support and have a good time.
They just mad. Their youngest fan there was 67. That's what they mad about.
But the moral of the story, the reason I brought that up is because nothing makes me prouder to be a student here, to be a Wolf, than to have been in that environment last night and just see how incredible the chemistry was with the team, see the chemistry with the fans. It was an amazing night. Go Wolves. Job's not finished. Now, yesterday was amazing. and say you went to the game, you know, you're still riding that high. You're thinking, man, how can I have another experience like seeing the Wolves win a GSC championship? Well, buddy, do I have a concert event for you. Wolfstock 2024 coming here in the University of West Georgia's Campus Center Ballroom Thursday, April 4th from 6 to 9 p.m. You can catch incredible artists like Dark Souls Thug, Jay Pruitt, Kamal Saucier, Cowler, Lumina, and XO. Wolfstock 2024 is brought to you by Dine West, Housing and Residence Life, Center for Student Involvement and Inclusion, Osier Apparel, American Pie Pizzeria, and Illuminated Productions.
In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty.
One of the biggest days in the history of the NFL is unfolding before our very eyes. Not only do my Pittsburgh Steelers have a new quarterback in Russell Wilson, we'll get to that. Not only do the Eagles have a new franchise running back in Saquon Barkley, we'll get to that. But your hometown Atlanta Falcons have their man to potentially bring them their first Lombardi trophy. That's right, folks. Kirk Cousins coming straight from Minnesota on a 4-year, $180 million contract that includes a $50 million signing bonus and $100 million guaranteed. Now, Gavin's got a persona. He's got a lot to say, so we're going to pass the ball to him first. Gavin, what does Kirk Cousins signing in Atlanta mean to you and them Dirty Birds?
Kirko Chains. What did Quavo say, Richard?
What do you call him? Kirk Frost?
Kirk Frosty. Not like Harrison Frost. We don't talk about that name here anymore, really. Kirk Frosty Boy Cousins. It's kind of funny. Side note real quick. When I saw the signing happen, I went on Instagram. I saw a comment, and someone said, I already have enough bad cousins in Atlanta. I don't need another one. That's a side note. That's kind of funny.
Crazy.
But Kirk Cousins is here in Atlanta. He's here to stay for 4 years, to the surprise of many, because a lot of us thought he was going to get a 2-year deal if he came here. Some even thought he was going to get a 1-year deal. No one expected a 4-year deal worth $180 million, $50 million up front, $45 million a year for the first 2 years, and you pay the rest after. That's a lot of money to pay to a guy that's 36 years old, coming off of an Achilles injury. But before he got injured, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. He was on track for, 36 passing touchdowns?
Yep.
He was on track to lead the Minnesota Vikings to the playoffs and make a deep playoff run. I seriously believe that. And here are my thoughts. I hate it. It's terrible. I hate this Kirk Cousins signing with every single bone in my body. I'll pay for your sunglasses if they broke.
He had us all fooled, folks.
I am going to go in on this. This is terrible. This is one of the worst moves that the Atlanta Falcons could ever have made in their entire existence. This is taking me back to when we first lost the Super Bowl. We brought in Arthur Smith, and we make all these crazy draft choices, and somehow it doesn't work. All of a sudden, a team that was already set back a few years just got set back even further. Signing Kirk Cousins today has ruined this Atlanta Falcons franchise for the foreseeable future, and I'll tell you why. Signing him, first of all, to a 4-year, $185 million deal. All of that money that we just spent on him, we would have spent half of that on Justin Fields. Half of it. And then we would have used the rest of that money to go get maybe some free agent linebackers, which we desperately need. Our best linebacker is Bud Dupree. Come on. The Falcons had to fix more holes in this on that defensive side and get a couple more weapons in this draft on the offensive side. You giving Kirk all that money has limited our options severely because teams that were looking at us to maybe trade, a couple picks here and there, some money, throw some money around, they're not interested anymore because we don't have the capital anymore to be able to give them what they want. This signing is awful for the Atlanta Falcons. You brought Justin Fields in. The offense is built for him. You pay him half the amount whenever you do pay him. He's younger. He's got potential. Kirk Cousins, yes, before he got hurt, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But he just tore his Achilles. And if history proves itself once again, that's one of the worst injuries any football player could ever have. And I don't think Kirk Cousins will ever return to that form that he was at last year. The Atlanta Falcons are ruined, and I'm sad.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I really see both sides of it. I see it being good and I see it being bad. So as of right now, I just give it a straight up B, not a B plus, not a B minus. I give this Kirk Cousins signing a straight up B. Because like you said, from a financial standpoint, it hurts. We could have got guys for a lot cheaper, a rookie guy, or even Justin Fields, a guy who who has tons of upside, could have brought him in cheaper, and also has the ability to ball out with his legs. And it also hurts because you can't sign a guy like Eric Armstead anymore because he's leaving San Francisco because of contract disputes. I don't think the Falcons are going to have enough capital to pay him. But the main thing I look at is for the foreseeable future. So let's say Kirk Cousins somehow comes back from his Achilles injury and ends up playing the way he was before he got injured, which was phenomenal. He was on pace for 36 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. He's a flat-out baller. We know what Kirk Cousins can be when healthy. But here's the thing. Let's say he comes back 100%. He balls out. He's 36 years old, y'all. He's 36 years old. He really only has 2 years playing like that, tops maybe 2.5 to 3 years. So they really botched our future because in around 2.5 years, the Falcons are going to be like, okay, we did great with Kirk Cousins. He came in with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. He really woke us up. But all right, it's time to find another quarterback again. When really, if the Falcons would have went out and got Justin Fields, get Justin Fields for those first 2 years, bring him in very cheap, he might mess around, ball out, see what he can do with his legs, with his arm as well. He's been getting better and better every single year. Like, okay, now let's keep Justin Fields around for another 6, maybe 7 years. This is like you have a plumbing issue. You're putting duct tape on a broken pipe. It's gonna work for a little while, but you're eventually gonna have to swap out the pipe. The Falcons got a temporary solution. Now look, it could end up going great. Kirk Cousins ends up playing great ball for the next 2 years. Falcons make a few deep playoff runs, maybe even a Super Bowl appearance with this roster if they retool things right, bring in Hollywood Brown, stuff like that. But my problem is it's a temporary fix when the Falcons had multiple chances and multiple ways to get their long-term answer at quarterback. 2 years is not long enough.
Yeah, I was having some mixed emotions about it before the show, but Gavin, you really turned the tide for me, and I'm really upset about this because I feel like with the Falcons we keep making small, quick fixes, nothing really looking ahead long term. We're always thinking right now. I wish we would start looking more long term and get someone who can stay with us for a long time. I mean, we've said it. Richard, you just said he's 36. He's just come off the worst injury really any athlete could have. And there's no way he's going to come back to that same level. And if he does, it'd be a miracle, and I'll take back everything I'm saying. But as of right now, this was not a good move. I don't like where this took us. I would have rather taken Justin Fields or maybe even drafted a quarterback in the draft. But getting Kirk Cousins, especially, I didn't even think about the money side of this, but all that money and all that time, it wasn't good. I'm not happy about it.
Now, as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitch, I'm wearing the shades. I got the Steelers shade on all the time, but tonight, this is my Kirko, it can't be Kirko Baines, what is it? Kirko ATL, Kirko Waffle House, Kirko Southside, whatever you want to say.
Kirko Southside is actually...
Kirk Cousins will prove to be one of the greatest signings in the history of your franchise. Remember who you are. You are a ringless franchise owned by a man who has shown zero care for the Atlanta Falcons over the last 3 or 4 years. This is the first season this man, Arthur Blank, has shown he cares about winning a Super Bowl in at least 5 years, since Matt Ryan was on the team at least. Okay? Looking at this roster right now with an incredible quarterback in Kirk Cousins, you have a good offensive line, a very good defense, great weapons, and a quarterback in Kirk Cousins that can take you to the promised land. Remember your situation in your division. The Buccaneers may have won it last year, but guess what? They're a 9-win team at best, maybe a 10-win team if everything breaks right for them. The Panthers are still a disaster. The Saints are a disaster. This Falcons team can easily win 12 games with Kirk Cousins. I almost called him Kirko Cousins because I'm very high on this move. With Kirk Cousins, you're winning 12 games. I think you might be the #1 seed in the NFC. I think you have a chance to win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins playing at his peak. Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback in this league. He's the best quarterback since 2017, Matt Ryan, and the Atlanta Falcons are lucky to have him.
Okay, key word, at his peak. He's not, we don't know he's going to be at his peak coming off his injury.
We'll see. But
I was just about to say we had some other big moves I know you're going to talk about.
Important move to get to. Now, radio audience, if you're not watching, I just pulled out my terrible towel. And I'm waving it like crazy because the Pittsburgh Steelers just got the greatest value signing potentially in the history of the NFL. A 9-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, should be 2-time Super Bowl champion, is home in the Berg. Russell Wilson signed for $1.2 million 1 year, an absolute steal. Shout out to the Denver Broncos paying $38 million of that salary. I barely have a voice because I was screaming so much last night at the game. Screamed a little bit when we signed Russell Wilson, but guess what? Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, you're officially on notice. Russ is coming.
Yo.
Steelers coming.
And he's not going to stop. Richard, what do you think about Russell in the Berg?
I mean, I think it's an incredible signing. I remember we talked about it last Thursday. We talked about it earlier last week. We've been talking about it for the past few months now, ever since the Broncos pulled that tomfoolery that they did. This is the best landing spot for Russell Wilson. I mean, it's perfect. You got a guy like Mike Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches in the NFL, one of the best coaches that we've ever seen. He runs a no-nonsense program. They have a amazing culture built in. Young guys like George Pickens. You have Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth. That running back core with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. I mean, you have dogs. You look on the defensive side of the ball. The secondary can be retooled, but they're young. They're bringing in new guys. There's rumors that Justin Simmons wants to play with Minkah Fitzpatrick. You still have T.J. Watt. I mean, look, this Steelers team is in a very good spot right now. They don't have to worry about quarterback anymore because they brought in Russell Wilson, and if he plays the way he played last year for the Broncos, they're going to be a darn good team. The main thing now is get a guy like Amarius Mims from Georgia in the first round. Keep strengthening that offensive line, which already isn't as bad as it has been. Go ahead and bring in a couple more pieces on that O-line, really strengthen it. This Steelers team can be dangerous.
And I've talked
if they can
about
protect Russell Wilson and establish the run, they got something scary with George Pickens there too.
Yeah, I want to expand on that. I talked about this before. This fit is perfect for Russell Wilson. The offense that they run is a low-pressure offense for the quarterback. Really, you don't have to do too much besides get the ball out of your hands to your skilled players. The run game has had a resurgence like we've been talking about. Najee Harris has had an early career resurgence. You bolster up the offensive line and it gets even better. That defense, you look at the Seattle Seahawks. What did Russ have when they won that Super Bowl? An elite defense, and that's exactly what Pittsburgh has built. And they're going to keep adding on to some more pieces that fit that defensive scheme well. I think this is the perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the perfect fit for Russell Wilson, and the fact that they only had to pay him the veteran minimum of like $1.something million, right. Let the Broncos pay the rest. They're in cap hell basically. I mean, they're out of it. Russell Wilson might just win a division this upcoming year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the AFC Championship with this team.
And honestly, that's the most important part, that veteran minimum. They brought him in for like 1.5 million, 1.2, something crazy like that. Like you said, let the Broncos pay the rest because they're paying him, 36 plus? Mm-hmm. Listen, that is a contract of itself. So look, let the Broncos pay him, and now they have all kind of money to build up this roster.
Correct.
If they feel like they need to go get some more corners, they can go out, pay for them. They can go get a guy like Eric Armstead if they want to. That'd be ridiculous, by the way. The 49ers just released him. They can go out there and spend money on every other facet of this team. If say they don't want to draft an offensive lineman, say they want to go out and get one, they can afford it because of how the Pittsburgh Steelers front office and Russell Wilson worked out this deal. It works perfect. Russ is going to ball out with these young receivers and with that run game. It's going to be special. I like what Pittsburgh's cooking.
I do too.
What is Russell Wilson's greatest strength?
Deep ball.
His beautiful deep ball. Exactly, Richard. What receiver do the Pittsburgh Steelers currently employ that had 1,100 yards on 56 catches last year?
One George Pickens.
Says captain of the George Pickens fan club, Mr. Richard
Proud
Reed.
president.
Now listen, not only are you adding the quarterback with potentially the best deep ball in the NFL in Russell Wilson, but you have a great run game in Pittsburgh with an offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith who is known to have incredible run games. Say what you want about him as a head coach. Mm-hmm. That man knows how to call an offense for the run specifically. Yep. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren are a dynamic duo. You establish the run. You let Russell get back to what made him great. Pittsburgh will make Russ great again. This is the new era here in Pittsburgh. You know, you can make up the MRGA hats if you want to. Make them black and gold, baby. I don't care. Arthur Smith will make Russ great again. Make this offense
make Russ great again.
Yep.
Yes,
I'm loving it.
Because what made him great in Seattle? The run game. The dominant run game. He never even threw for 4,000 yards. He threw for 3,600, 3,800, because guess what? He didn't have to. He could throw for 250 yards, get the 2 or 3 touchdowns, get things rolling downfield. We have the weapons. We have the capabilities to make that happen for us and make Russ great again.
Let's not forget the main thing from Russell Wilson. He is clutch. We know how he does with those last-second drives, and they're going to need 100%. Those in this tough AFC North because the Browns just got the other guy from the Broncos, Jerry Jeudy. You still have the Ravens who are going to try to retool. The Bengals are in win-now mode, so they're going to need those big drives at the end of the game, and nobody is better than leading the last-second game-winning drive than, you can say Aaron Rodgers, but also Russell Wilson, baby.
Yes, sir. Now, listen. There's so much going on right now in the NFL world. It's too much to keep up with one phone. So what's better than one phone to keep up with all this NFL news? 20 flat screen TVs at Jefferson's in Carrollton,
Thought
along
you
with
were
their
finna hit
full
Kevin Gates,
bar.
too. Phones.
Along with their full bar that has 16 draft beers. Now, please drink responsibly. They also have a covered porch and an outdoor area for cornhole. Whether you're keeping up with the NFL or you just want a chill afternoon with friends and family, Jefferson's in Carrollton is your full stop for fun. Located at 342 Maple Street. Visit their website at jeffersons.com or follow them on Instagram at jeffersons_Carrollton. Now, quick break. When we come back, some college basketball and some NBA. Swish.
Hey, this is Andy Bunker from 92.9 The Game, and you're listening to the Wolf Sports Network.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Richard Reed here. Quick reminder, we are indeed a radio station first, and right now we're taking a quick song break. Stay tuned or go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, hit the play button in the top left of the screen, listen to the great music that we're playing, and then look, when we come back on air, you can either stick around over there or hop back over to YouTube or Twitch, wherever you were watching from. So stay tuned, stick around, be patient, and when we get back, college basketball, NBA, and we're wrapping it up with a brand new segment. Here's a quick little preview. Take it or leave it, baby. Stay tuned.
Mondays, a day filled with despair, serving to remind us of the mundane in our lives, often leaving us as though there is no escape. Until now. Now introducing the newest member of the Wolf Sports Network family, the Triple Threat Podcast, serving to fight the mundane with exciting and entertaining banter between three buddies. Catch it every Monday, now on Wolf Sports Network.
College students who binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week are roughly 6 times more likely to perform poorly on a test or a project as a result of drinking. That is why Printers Ale has joined Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network's Drink Responsibly campaign to remind students drinking should be done responsibly and in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty won't take your hangovers as excuses.
It may not be March, but the madness has already begun.
Up in time, Clark for the win!
There's a takeaway and a run on the poster. Dante Scott absolutely throttles the rim.
Ding, 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 ding. Now this is
Fighting
the college basketball segment.
Why are you talking like that?
But we got to get into a little bit of a brawl. A little bit of a brouhaha that kicked
College
off
basket
during
brawl.
the SEC championship yesterday,
college basket
right?
brawl.
College basket brawl.
I'm
Great
here all
job,
week.
Gianna. That's an A+ pun right there. Good job.
Alrighty then.
UAH commentator.
Alrighty then.
I low-key do, Gavin. All right, serious talk, though. A huge brawl broke out in the SEC championship game yesterday between South Carolina and LSU, resulting in 6 players ejected, including star Camila Cardoso, who shoved LSU's Flau'jae Johnson to the floor late in the fourth. Flau'jae, close enough.
No, it's Flau'jae.
Nope.
No, you had it right over the break.
Yes, he was practicing during the song break.
Is it not close enough? Let's just be real.
No, that's her name.
Her name is Flau'jae.
You know, same groceries, different bag.
I appreciate that, Richard.
Never heard that one.
okay.
All right. Never heard that one.
Now, the Gamecocks won 79-72, but it seems like everyone's talking about when it comes to this game is the incident. What are our immediate takeaways?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, this is just flat out competitive fire. This is what we want. We've been talking about how women's college basketball has really been heating up, and this is how it should be. These have been the top 2 teams in the SEC the past 2 years. They've played in the regular season. Every single game is close. Last year, LSU beat them in the regular season. Then this year, South Carolina beat them in a nail biter towards the middle of the season. And this right here is the SEC championship. 2 arch rivals, number 1 versus number 2 in the SEC, going head to head. It should be this intense. It should be like this competitive fire. It's just doing what it's doing. I love it. I love it for the sport. It brings a great energy. Now, nobody likes to see fighting, okay, but look, these are 2 of the greatest teams in women's college basketball right now, and they hate each other. This is a good old-fashioned rivalry, good old-fashioned hate between South Carolina and Louisiana State University. I love it. Now, I don't like Flau'jae's brother jumping in. Look, if my little sister was fighting somebody like out in the middle of Piccadilly or something, yeah, then I'm going to jump in and help. But listen, it's a basketball game. Let them push and push. The referees eventually separated. He had no business jumping in. That's the only part I don't like.
Yep.
But I love it. I love seeing good competitive energy like this. And sometimes when you're being competitive, you get into fights. You get into arguments. I love it. It's great for the sport. Keep headlines on women's basketball.
Yeah, I do agree that in a way it is good for the sport because women are competitive. There's no other way to say it. Women are competitive. But I don't know how to. It's weird. Like when I'm watching games, like I like when fights are happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know why this kind of rubs me the wrong way. I think it's because Cardoso, she's getting a lot of like heat and a lot of like the anger about it. But the only reason she pushed Flau'jae was because Flau'jae bumped into one of her teammates. Right. And Camila was just defending her teammate.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to defend your teammate.
No. Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just that she's getting a lot of the heat for it, and no one's even talking about why it even started.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to defend your teammates, man. Like I said, I defend my sister if we was fighting in Piccadilly. Some girls jumping on my sister, I jump in. I start pulling hair too. I mean, that's just how it goes. Swing like that. Yeah, you gotta go at it.
Right. I'm not mad at like defending your teammate. It's just like if we're gonna blame people, share the blame. Everybody was fighting. Share the blame.
Now, this has been a revolutionary year for women's basketball as a whole. I mean, as the years go on, you're starting to see kind of the revolution that's happening, really.
Right.
And this adds to it because you look at all the historical college basketball rivalries, UNC, Duke, Kansas, all the Blue Bloods, and all the emerging programs. There's always been those games where they just really get into it. They don't like each other, and that's the whole point of it. That's being competitive. That's playing sports, and you see it all throughout all of athletics on every level now, really. And I'm not condoning violence necessarily, but that was competitiveness. That was not violence to me. That was, I think I'm better than you. I'm defending my teammate. We're trying to win a championship, and that's what it's really about. And yes, I agree with you. Keep the headlines on women's sports. Guess what? We're talking about it.
Right.
ESPN's talking about it. All of the different sports media outlets, all of the different news outlets in general guarantee you are going to have a story on what has just happened. And guess what? All of a sudden, oh, I want to watch the next South Carolina game. Oh, wait, they got into that. I want to watch LSU. Angel Reese is on that team. I heard of her. I want to go see what does she do? What's going on with this, with this program? And all of a sudden, the women's tournament is going to start inching up, and we're going to see a heavy increase in viewers and a heavy increase in the influence that women's basketball has throughout the entire country.
I am glad that women's sports is getting a lot more recognition and getting a lot more eyes. I just wish people were going to watch the game, not hoping a fight will break out. But I guess it's good that people are at least watching for some reason, I guess.
15 some years ago, a very popular character on The Office, Kevin Malone, said, "Women be shopping." But I guarantee you, this past Sunday, yesterday, beautiful day because our Wolves won the GSC championship, obviously. But I guarantee you, he was sitting on his couch watching the SEC championship between South Carolina and LSU, and he said, "Man, women be hooping."
I thought you were going to say women be fighting.
Kevin W.
Because look, at the end of the day, you can talk about the fight. You can talk about the skirmish. It happens in men's sports too. Whenever there's a big brawl, more people are going to they're going to be attracted to the violence. They're going to look at, the crazy scenes, the fists being thrown, the shoves. Gavin's showing us some breaking news right now.
NFL news just broke again.
Oh wow, Giants trade for Brian Burns, 5-year, $150 million deal.
He just got paid.
My God, that's crazy.
If only they had an O-line, they might be competitive. Carry on,
Yes, but anyways, honestly, this media attention between Caitlin Clark, between this brewing rivalry between South Carolina and LSU is beautiful for the game of women's basketball. It has never been bigger. It has never been more relevant. It has never gotten this much talk on airways, whether it's us, like Gavin said, ESPN, Fox Sports, whatever. No matter, all press is good press. Yes, the fight can be kind of a bad look when you're watching it, but it happens all the time in all sports.
Exactly.
The only reason it's getting this much press is because women's basketball has never been this big of a deal. People have never been talking about it as much. So since it's bigger, these fights garner more attention. Overall, women's basketball is in the best spot that it's ever been. Shout out to South Carolina owning LSU. I think they're going to win the national championship.
I mean, no one else can beat them, really.
I think Iowa has a chance because Caitlin Clark. Stanford might have a chance, but this Dawn Staley-led South Carolina team is so big. They're so physical. There were times during the game yesterday, I watched the highlights. Obviously, we were at the West Georgia game. We couldn't watch it live, but I watched some of the highlights, and there were times that LSU just looked straight up bullied. It was kind of like when you're picking teams at the park, and the one team has all the trees, and the other team got all the short kids, and they're just getting beat
all the
to
trees.
death.
That's true, though.
That's basically what LSU was.
Camilla
They got
Cardoso
girls.
is a monster.
She's 6'7".
Oh, my gosh.
Look, man, because LSU, they got size, but South Carolina got size italicized. Like, they got that size.
Did you really just say that?
They got that size. That's what I'm saying. You watch them, you see it.
Oh, my God.
And guess what? That's why they're going to win the national championship.
Size
Now,
italicized. I'm going to start saying
Jefferson's and Carrollton's boneless wings are served up hot and fresh daily with not 16, not 17, not 18. You thought I was going to say 19, didn't you? Not 19, but 20 different sauce options. Run. No, scratch that. Sprint to Jefferson's to get yours tonight. Located at 342 Maple Street. Visit their website at jeffersons.com or follow them on Instagram at jeffersons_Carrollton.
The NBA is back. Let's go.
Schroeder, LeBron doing it again with first slam from Schroeder.
Don't look now, but those Los Angeles Lakers have won 3 out of 4. And who are the 3 teams they've taken down, you might ask, America? Well, let me answer that question for you. Just the number 1 seed in the West, Oklahoma City Thunder. Just the Damian Lillard / Giannis Antetokounmpo-led Milwaukee Bucks. And the number 2 seed in the West, the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Anthony Edwards, one of your favorite players, Richard. Now, this Lakers team's 36-30. They're still in the play-in. They're the 9 seed right now. But they've shown the ability to be able to beat the best teams in close, tight, physical games. So if these Lakers stay healthy, do we think they can make a run in the postseason?
Yeah, they need to stay healthy for one, and they also need to keep getting contribution from all over the place. Because we saw it last year, when they gel as one and lock in at the right time, they can make a deep run. They still have a lot of the better players in the world right now. They still have LeBron James, who's playing at a who's playing at an insane level. Now, he's in the doghouse with Savannah right now, but that's none of my business.
He's a clown.
But
He's
also,
got jokes.
you got LeBron James. You got Anthony Davis. Last night, he put up 27 points and 25 rebounds. That's insane. That's the kind of stuff everybody keeps talking about. Anthony Davis could do this. He could do that. Well, he's starting to show it. And then you've got guys like D'Angelo Russell. This is the most confident I've ever seen D'Angelo Russell as a scorer since maybe he was in college. He's been flat out balling as well. So if you keep this group of guys playing as one together, keep having different guys step up every night, but it needs to be consistent. Even when Anthony Davis doesn't have 25 rebounds, he has 10, he has 12, he might even have 15 and 20. Keep LeBron contained, keep LeBron able to score around 20 to 22 points a game, but also go off. They just need consistency, and they need guys that are willing to rise to the occasion when they have to, like Anthony Davis did last night against the T-Wolves, and like guys like D'Angelo Russell have been doing the past couple weeks.
I mean, when healthy and when playing to the level that we know they can play, this Los Angeles Lakers team is the 6th best team in the Western Conference, in my opinion. You're still going to have the Thunder over them. You're still going to have the Nuggets, Timberwolves, Clippers, and maybe even the Suns. But that Lakers team could easily slide into that 6th spot and take over the Suns to be the top 5 team in the Western Conference. It's just a matter of, can we consistently be this good? Can we consistently see that level of play from Anthony Davis? Can we still have LeBron putting up these historic numbers every single night? And like you said, D'Angelo Russell, I agree. I've never seen him this confident before, and really it seems like he's almost playing with some swag now. He feels himself again, right? He feels like he's in a place where he can succeed again. This team is going to be very hard to beat in the playoffs. Let's say they stay in the play-in, they make it through. That's a very hard team to beat in the playoffs, because once the playoffs come along, it's almost like the Heat. They turn into an entirely new team as long as they're healthy. I seriously think this is a contending team if they can continue to play at this level.
Yeah, you're exactly right. A healthy and consistent team, consistent Lakers team is a scary Lakers team. And that's been my main problem with them the past couple of seasons, the past couple of games is the inconsistency. But seeing Anthony Davis put up those historic numbers last night shows that he can get it done. Like you said, Richard, people are saying Anthony Davis could do this, should do this, yada yada yada. But now that he is doing that, the Lakers team is going to be unstoppable if they keep going like this.
I wouldn't say unstoppable. Now, look, these Laker teams, they look pretty good. They've been pretty inconsistent, the model of inconsistency, if you ask me. But they've shown what they can do. But in a 7-game series, I'm still picking teams like the Thunder. Now, the Thunder are young. The Lakers have experience over them. But I like this Thunder team. They're deep. They're going to be good for the next few years. I wouldn't argue if somebody told me they'd be the next dynasty with all the draft capital that they still have built up. They're going to be good for years to come, even if they don't win it this year. But I'm looking at a team like the Clippers. I'm not selling all my stock yet. They dropped a game last night to the Bucks, but this Clippers team is still the best team in the Western Conference, in my so humble opinion. I think it's their year, if not now, the win for the Clippers. And I still like the Suns, man. The Suns have been kind of dragging along all season. They're going to make the playoffs. Guys like Kevin Durant. He's here to remind everybody that he's here to play. He's here to ball out. Devin Booker. I mean, Bradley Beal. I'm not bailing on the Suns either. It's going to be very difficult for the Lakers to put it together and keep it together. Now, if they can, they're going to give the team some issues in the playoffs. But those 3 teams, even the Timberwolves, they're going to have to get used to life without Karl Anthony Towns because he has a meniscus tear right now. But even the Timberwolves are pretty scary. But those 3 teams mainly are the ones that I'm scared of if I'm a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though I'm singing their praises right now, I'm not forgetting about all these other teams. I'm with you with the Clippers. If they don't win now, then I don't know when they will win.
Yeah, they got to get it done.
All I got to say is, I mean, as far as I can remember, I've been an NBA fan for probably 15 plus years, right? As long as I can remember, the Western Conference has always been pretty strong. But the Western Conference this year is on another level. I mean, obviously you got the Nuggets and the Clippers looking like overall favorites, but the Thunder are incredible. The Timberwolves are incredible. There's even teams in the play-in like the Suns, like the Lakers, like the Mavericks that could all go on a run and potentially win a championship. I believe in LeBron more than anyone. He's my GOAT. I believe in Anthony Davis. He can still reach that 2020 level, but at the end of the day, going on a championship run in this conference is going to be the hardest thing an NBA team has ever done, maybe in the history of the organization, genuinely. I think the Lakers, they have a chance, like I said, but man, the West is tougher than ever. And if there was ever a year for them to win it, it probably wouldn't be this year, just because going through the Nuggets, going through the Suns, that's such a gauntlet, man. I mean, I love LeBron. This Lakers team is incredible.
I forgot to mention the Nuggets.
But yeah, but at the end of the day, man, this West is just too stacked. I can't see them winning a championship, but I do expect them to get to at least the second round, which would be incredible. In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That is why Printers Ale has joined Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network's Drink Responsibly campaign to remind you there is no drinking under the age of 21, never drink and drive even if it's just one beer, and add a little food and water when you drink so you don't end up texting your ex. And if you want that food to be good, make sure it's Jefferson's.
Hey guys, this is Bobby Butler, and you're listening to Sports Pack only on the Wolf Sports.
Gotcha. What's going on, y'all? It's Richard here. Just here to remind y'all once again that we are indeed a radio station first, and right now we're taking a song break. So stay tuned and just be patient, chill, go get a bag of chips or whatever, or go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, hit the play button in the top left corner, and listen to the great music that we're playing right now. And when we return, we got a brand new segment, Take It or Leave It. We're going to be talking about a lot of these new free agency moves. Do we take it? Do we leave it? Do we like it? Do we don't? Stay tuned to find out. Can't wait. We'll be back soon.
Wolfstock 2024 featuring your favorite artists including Kamal Saucier, Caller, and Jay Pruitt. Also featuring performances by Dark Souls Thug, Lumina, and XO. Wolfstock 2024, Thursday, April 4th from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Campus Center Ballroom. Brought to you by Dine West, Housing and Residence Life, Suited for Center Involvement and Inclusion, American Pie Pizzeria, Illuminated Productions, and Osier Apparel.
You just heard that ad. Are you pumped? Because I'll tell you one thing. We at this desk are pumped for Wolfstock Thursday, April 4th at the Campus Center Ballroom. As you heard, we got Kamal Saucier, we got Caller, we got Dark Souls Thug, we got Lumina, XO, and Jay Pruitt. It's the concert event of the year. We're going to have games. We're going to have cornhole. We're going to have a lot of fun at Wolfsock. Make sure y'all come out and have a great time. Wolfsock 2024 is brought to you by Dine West, Housing and Residence Life, Center for Student Involvement and Inclusion, American Pie Pizzeria, Ozier Apparel, and Illuminated Productions.
Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
It's time for the brand new segment on Sports Pack. Take it or leave it. Now, if you're listening on the radio, you can't see we're on YouTube,
Sorry, guys.
Twitch. We have these little signs. One side says take it, the other side says leave it. So there's going to be takes, and we're going to hold it up. If we think the take is right, we take it. Or if we disagree with the take, we leave it. And the first thing that we are kicking off with, Saquon Barkley signing with the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 years. One of the NFL's most electrifying running backs finds a new home within the same division. Does Saquon Barkley make the Philadelphia Eagles a Super Bowl contender once again? Take it or leave it. Richard and I say take it. Gianna and Gavin say leave it.
You're insane.
Really?
Listen, I'll make it quick. I don't think he alone does it, but the moves they made this
That was a question.
Okay, so if that's the case, I mean, I'm gonna leave it.
I'm gonna leave it too. I'm gonna leave it
planned
too.
I planned on explaining myself.
easy.
I'm
Yeah,
still gonna
I'm
take
gonna leave
it.
it too.
He's a dynamic.
Whoa.
He's a dynamic. It's my first time doing this. Hey, everybody, Javad. Yeah, he's a dynamic running back. He can get it done between the tackles and out of the backfield. I think they made the right decision getting a guy like Kellen Moore in there because their main issue wasn't the run game. They could have kept DeAndre Swift and been just fine. But they got the right offensive coordinator in. Their pass game is going to be much better with Kellen Moore at the helm. They still need some things to patch, but adding Saquon Barkley to that Kellen Moore offense, it helps a lot.
I'm going to leave it. I run into the same issue that Atlanta's running into with Kirk right now. You pay him too much money. You could have paid DeAndre Swift a whole lot less, and he would have been serviceable as much as Saquon's going to be serviceable. I mean, we all know they're going to be pushing Jalen Hurts' butt across that end zone 8 times this year, to 10 times this year even. They could have spent all that money on other pieces on the defensive side of the ball to kind of, fill those gaps that they just lost in the offseason. I think I leave it. They're not contenders.
I leave it too because they already had a few problems this past season. I don't think Saquon fixes that. And then they have a few holes with Jason Kelce retiring.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Eagles next year, I do think they'll end up being a contender because I think the Cowboys are falling off, but I don't think it's just because of Saquon Barkley. I think the Eagles are going to have a good draft. They're a very aggressive team, aggressive front office. I think they'll get it done, be a pretty good team, top 4 or 5 in the NFC going forward. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Kirk Cousins, as an Atlanta Falcon, will put this desperate franchise on the brink of a Super Bowl and firmly in contention. Take it or leave it.
Wait, I'm so confused by the question.
Will this make the Falcons Super Bowl contenders?
Correct.
And baby, I'm gonna take it.
I'm taking it too.
I'm gonna take it.
Leaving
I'm taking it all day.
Listen,
Leaving
hear me
it.
out. I know earlier in the show, and I still believe what I said. This is a temporary fix. You're putting duct tape over a busted pipe. But listen to me when I say this. Kirk Cousins, even at 80% of what he was last year, is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. With this Falcons team, this defense was already dominant this past season. They're going to keep adding weapons. I think they're going to bring in a guy like Eric Armstead. When you look at this offense, dynamic run game with Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. You have Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Listen. The best offensive line that Kirk Cousins has ever had, the best weapons. I think they're going to go out and get a guy like Marquise Hollywood Brown, put him in the slot. The Falcons need a route runner right now. Kirk Cousins is going to take this Falcons team over the top. Over these next 2 seasons that I think he will still be able to play at his best, the Falcons are going to be great, and they're going to be in contention to win the NFC each and every single year. Now, the NFC is a gauntlet. This year is going to be a gauntlet for the future. The Packers are good. The 49ers are good. Who else is good? I'm forgetting people. There are a lot of good teams in the NFC, man. But the Falcons are going to be right atop, up there with the Eagles, up there with the Cowboys. The Falcons are going to be Super Bowl contenders with Kirk Cousins. If we have 2 years to do it, I think the Falcons will get it done. They will compete for a Super Bowl with Captain Kirk. You like that?
I don't actually. No, thank
hate
you.
it.
No, thank you.
Kirk Cousins coming off of Achilles injury. I leave it, and I leave it firmly. I leave it at the top of a mountaintop. I'm screaming, I hate it. I don't like that. I don't like the chains. He doesn't even look good wearing them. He doesn't even deserve to wear the chains. Quavo, you don't need to give him any chains. He don't deserve it.
He gonna look good with that QC chain, with that quality control. With that quality control, that QC.
Kirk Cousins at the helm for the Atlanta Falcons. It's gonna be... I even compared to Sam Darnold on the 49ers. Inexistent. Shouldn't happen. Never should happen. Should never see it. Kirk Cousins getting paid that much money is a disgrace to Atlanta fans that have been waiting on a franchise to have long-term success. No, we're not Super Bowl contenders. The NFC is too stacked. Even if we win a division, we're not getting far in the playoffs. That division is the weakest division in football. I don't care if we win it. It doesn't mean much to me because we're not playing anybody good. The Bucks aren't very great. They had a great run last year, but they're not very great, and they're not going to be. Panthers, we all know that situation. The Saints, their quarterback's Derek Carr. They're awful. This is not going to work. We win a division, so what? We're not Super Bowl contenders, and we won't be for the entire time that Kirk Cousins is quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to be stuck in this hell that is being an Atlanta Falcons fan, and I'm tired of it. I'm about to go put on my Chiefs jersey. Yes, Patrick Mahomes. He's my guy.
Listen, man, the Falcons, with the receivers they already have, I think they're going to go get Hollywood Brown. The defense is a top 15 unit. It's going to keep getting better with Raheem Morris here. The running backs, the receivers.
He doesn't fit the offense.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't.
It's going to be the best run game he ever had. A great run game helps any quarterback out, and it's going to help Kirk Cousins. This is going to be the best quarterback the Falcons have had.
This team is built for RPOs.
1% at a time.
This is going to be the best. This is going to be the best quarterback the Falcons have had since Matt Ryan when he won the Super Bowl. This is going to be really good. He's going to air it out. We're still going to have a dominant run game. This is going to work out for the Falcons. That was going to be a temporary fix, but I think it's going to work great.
Play like crab next year.
Nah. I'm using my terrible towel as a bib, ladies and gentlemen, right?
I'm scared. Why are you
Now, let me tell you why I'm using it as a bib. Because Kirk Cousins, he's going to eat in Atlanta. Bijan Robinson is going to eat with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. Drake London is going to eat with Captain Kirk at the helm of this offense. I look at this Atlanta Falcons team, and I see a Super Bowl contender. The NFC is far weaker than the AFC. We look at the Lions. We look at the 49ers. We look at what? The Green Bay Packers. Yeah.
Eagles.
Those are three really good teams. The Eagles. But guess what? Atlanta is on their level now. They are on their way to contention. They are head and shoulders above their entire division right now in terms of talent, and I believe in terms of execution when we see it on the field. Zach Robinson commanding that offense will have Kirk Cousins on another level. Remember where Raheem Morris comes from, where Zach Robinson comes from. They come from the Rams. What did the Rams do? They took a guy who played for a bad organization. They took a guy that was a Hall of Fame level player statistically, and they made him a Super Bowl champion in Matthew Stafford. Kirk Cousins coming from Minnesota. Yes, the Falcons aren't what the Rams were, but guess what? They're building up to be that. I think Kirk Cousins, you look at what he's done the last 4 years, 115 touchdowns, 39 interceptions, one of the best quarterbacks in recent NFL history.
Before Achilles tear.
And he's coming back. Modern medicine's incredible,
I was about
baby.
to say, the way modern medicine is, he might come back better than ever. Look, this is going to be great. Look, and we see what
Wait. I'm sorry. I just got a notification. Austin Eckler to sign with the Washington Commanders. Take it or leave it real quick.
I mean, they still need a lot more. As of right now, I'm going to leave it. He's not the greatest running back in the world. I'm going to leave it right now. They still need a lot more to fix that team. But one last point, Garrett Walker Jr. just said it in our live chat. This is what Kyle Pitts needs as well. I'm looking to see a big jump from Kyle Pitts in production. Look at the Rams offense last year, like you said, Brendan. They were very run-heavy with Kyron Williams. We have a Kyron Williams and Bijan Robinson. We have Tyler Algier, and they were still dynamic in the passing game with Matthew Stafford. I think Kirk Cousins is going to make a full recovery, and he can be great if he does.
Make sure you follow Dine West on Instagram at UWGDine_West to keep up on dining hall hours and retail hours. Never get caught missing good foods or closing when you're hungry. Real quick, I leave it on Austin Eckler. Look, really great fantasy player, not so great in real life. They still need way more now. If they get Drake May, maybe gives them a little bit of a security blanket, dump them off 4 or 5 times a game, that's fine, but this does not do anything for the Washington Commanders winning any games, in my opinion. But with all that being said, that's all the time we have for
Shout out
Sports
the
Pack.
Wolves one more time.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out the GSC champion, West Georgia Wolves, the greatest team in the history of this university, whether it's football, basketball, whatever. Zotti's the GOAT. Dave Moore's the GOAT. This team is a team full of goats. We got a herd of goats, and we are going to Fort Lauderdale, baby. And guess what? Lee, they better bring the army, Because we're bringing the Navy, baby. Go Wolves for Gianna, Richard, and Gavin. This is Brendan. We'll see y'all on Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Tune in. You're listening to the
Build the
Wolves
booty
Sports
Saturday
Network.
night.
You are now listening to WSN.